Yo, do you think the reason why big YouTubers and influencers have so many scandals all the time is because they've kind of accidentally Pavlov'd themselves? Or maybe we've accidentally Pavlov'd them into being like that. Hi, I'm a digital artist. I am doing a redraw for the first time in like freaking ages because I never film myself during doing redraws, and I would like to discuss the big scandal. Well, several big scandals actually, because there's like a lot of them. Like, let's be real, it feels like every other day someone's doing some shit, someone's getting cancelled for some shit. Like, it just never ends, honestly. Like, oh my gosh, like I've even seen like fucking memes about it, you know, like oh, everything is evil the bigger it gets. Companies, Elon Musk, influencers, and I was like, why is that? But then I was looking at YouTube videos, right, while I was like doing my art, because that's what I like to do. Like, I am ADHD. Like, if anyone who knows me knows that I am neurodivergent as all heckery, and I need like a lot of stimulation and dopamine. So something I've started doing while drawing out like this is looking into like podcasts and YouTube videos. Is something I have had to, unfortunately, in this day and age do, is start looking into social media marketing videos, because like everyone knows that Instagram, like the YouTube, Instagram, anything that has an algorithm is just really bad, and we know that's because they want us to throw money at them. But it's like, how am I meant to survive as an artist? You know, like, I don't have money. It's the whole reason why I'm like putting myself on Instagram and like filming myself doing this. But I was like watching, like, I've spent the entire afternoon like watching marketing videos, and like there's like a lot of information, but basically the gist of it, all it boils down to is like, get to know thy audience, know what they like, and play into that. And like, when you look at the more scandalous social media like stuff, you know, like the whole like Duolingo death thing, like, oh, if you do enough lessons you might bring it back, like, that is very manipulative. And I've noticed a lot of the more, shall we say, like controversial marketing trends, like it is a lot about like that leans really heavily into emotional manipulation. And then like I'm also thinking like about this other psychology thing, because like, again, I'm neurodivergent as all heck. My mind runs like that meme, you know, like the guy who's like looking really disheveled in front of like this like pinboard, and he's got like a bunch of pings and strings. Yes, that is my mind, exactly. So I was like thinking about how humans, like especially adult humans, always ask each other like, oh, what do you do for a job? And there's like a lot of unspoken connotations about that. Like, no one wants to say it, but we all know we are judging you by what you do for a job. Like, when we ask, oh, what do you do for a job? We are finding what sort of a person you are, what you do all day, like what your priorities are. And like, I think there's actually something there, you know, like when I ask someone, what do you do for a job? Someone who is a doctor is more likely to be like really intellectual and meticulous in like a certain way, whereas someone who's an artist, my first thought is like, oh, they're more like self-directed, go at their own pace. They don't necessarily apply to the whole things of society, though. Well, these days, like, who even knows? Everyone's got their own connotations, right? And like, whether it's true or not, I really do think that shapes you. It's just like how everyone who's got like a certain name, like you notice that everyone who's like shares the same name looks similar, like whether it's like Catherine's or Martha's, like you sort of know when someone's got like a certain name. Like, they even have certain mannerisms. But I reckon that's it. Like, I actually do. Like, I think when you spend all day every day, because social media is a cutthroat thing, you don't get a paycheck, you don't get anything real. Like, basically people have to like you, and you have to like be constantly coming out. Like, even if you look and it's like, oh, what's the latest Instagram hook? Like, it is a valid Instagram hook to like say something scandalous, to just fucking get people commenting and shit. Like, there's this one like Russian influencer called Naya. Like, she has blatantly admitted to saying, like, she says her whole job description is stirring drama in the comment section of her post. Like, that is how she made it big. And I really think that does affect you. Like, if you spend like 8 hours a day, and let's be real, it's more like 12 to 14, because like if you're on social media, you have to grind to get anywhere. I think when you spend like all day, every day, like constantly thinking like, how do I get people to comment? How do I get people to like follow me? How do I get people to be invested? How do I actually make people care enough to actually stop by my content? I really think there is going to be like a little bit of manipulation of that. Like, you're not caring about their grandma, you know, like you're not stopping by their house for a casserole. You are thinking, what is the thing that I can do to get their attention enough for them to stay? And like I can see like there's two guys sitting in a hot tub 5 feet apart because they're not gay. Like that's the meme format in my head. And like the one thing is like the one dude is like social media marketing, and like the next is emotional manipulation. Like I really do think when you gear yourself up to, or when the algorithm or society or whatever you want to call it gears you up to be constantly seeking out engagement and attention seeking, like you were going to be looking for like bigger and better, because it's a fucking competition, right? Like when everyone is doing that, the stakes are going to get higher, like the drama's going to be more scandalous, like you're constantly going to have to find something that someone else hasn't really capitalized off yet, so you are a little bit ahead, so your paycheck is more guaranteed, so that people come to you versus the next YouTuber, because there's only like so many people with so many like free time. Like it is in a sense limited. Like why should someone care about you versus the next thing? And I actually do think that's why artists on Instagram struggle so much, because like artists are a dime a dozen. Like we make art, we don't know how to market ourselves, we're not business minded. Like all we do is like la making pictures. Like of course we're gonna struggle. And there's always going to be like another artist who does it commissioned for cheaper because they're more desperate. Or if you like one person's style, like there's going to be a billion others. Like it's a really shitty reality, but it's the reality. And I actually do think like when someone is that desperate to claw their ways to the top, to the point where they've got like 1 million of subscribers, they're going to have to be doing like some pretty out there shit, you know, like. And I reckon you lose a bit of your soul about that, because when your first thought is, this is going to bring in so much clicks, this is going to bring in like so much engagement, this is going to bring in so much la, you don't actually stop. Well, maybe you do, but like I've noticed the really extreme YouTubers, they don't really stop to like think, hey, is this actually ethical? And like the main case that comes to my mind is the whole like recent Mr. Beast scandal. I remember like watching this video again when I was making art about how he's doing like some really fucked up shit to people. Like they'd sign contracts saying like, yeah, I agree to be on this game show for like X amount of time, and then he'd lock them in rooms, deprive them of sleep, have like light and sound at them all the time, then he'd like get up at 5 a.m. and make them run marathons. Like that is seriously fucked up. And like I bet everyone who watched that documentary, they're like, holy fuck, like what the fuck is wrong with him? Like what is fucking sociopath? Like how could he do that? But like when humans are built for efficiency, like we've got a whole thing, it's called homeostasis. Like we are built to survive, and we will do, like if we have to do XYZ for like survival, our bodies and our minds and everything about us will start to gear itself up to that, to make it more like efficient. Like that's why weightlifters, when they stop weightlifting, they get like a really slow metabolism for a while it takes their bodies to adjust, right? Because like that's why you have to keep lifting heavier and heavier stuff, or running longer and longer distances if you are working out, because your body gets used to the whole stand of that like being the exercise, so it tries to like cut calories and like cut the amount of energy used just to make it more efficient. And I think that is what people do. That's what they do for a job, and that's why we always ask them like, oh, what do you do for a living? Because that is how we like gauge who they are, because their whole soul and psyche has to adjust for that. Like otherwise we could not be like doing all day every day, like for the most of our like adult lives, just tolerating this thing. Like we have to like it, we have to align it, or like at least we have to tolerate it enough to get like acclimated to. But like again, when you're a YouTuber or like an influencer, and you're having to do like harder and harder shit just to keep ahead, like I freaking get it. I really wonder, like again, like I haven't done the research on this, I don't have the peer-reviewed studies, like I am too attention deficit to like put effort into that, but like I wonder. And like I remember watching this, like I was reading this like paper when it was in Trump's recent rise to power, like how everyone who was like super old and like a little bit from, they're like, oh, this is how World War II started. I remember I was there, and like everyone's like, no, I'm not like that. But then like ICE is coming and deporting people, and people are sort of like ratting them out, and then you see all these like meme posts online going like, oh, if Anne Frank were alive today, I can guarantee like a lot of you would just betray her. And it's just, people don't get born being evil. Like I suspect, and again I could be wrong, I am just spitballing here, my views may change over time, but like I really think to be shocked by something as horrific as that, and you're side-eyeing the people who have done it, like yes, it's a fucked up thing, but like everyone to some degree does what they do because they think that is the best thing that's the thing that's going to get them where they need to be, and they align it to some degree, and like we're all the same freaking species, right? Like it's like the frog in the pot scenario. Like people don't just wake up and they're evil, like they're convinced over time. And like I think with the way this recent election in America has been, I really think like the only way that people like are supportive of that idea is they believe that's the right idea, like they're fed beliefs that it just really blows my mind. And I'm so scared of like someone coming along going, yeah, well, that's horribly unethical person, you are so horrible, how dare you say it like that. Like I've got this like irrational fear that someone's gonna pop up and say it, but like I don't know how to say that any more delicately. And I've actually lost the tangent I was on. Like I've spitballed about so many things, so I've lost the tangent, but like I was like presenting a case, and like all the things I've said today, like I reckon it feels like they're bricks to a wall. Like here is the case, and I really hope somebody understands this, because like I'm listening to myself ramble, and it's just like it just seems like a bunch of nonsense and shenanigans. But look, I made art. I've been like looking on Pinterest, because Pinterest is where I get all my inspo, right? And I've been seeing like really beautiful pieces with like really vibrant colors, and I wanted to explore like a new style. Like this admittedly took a lot quicker than my usual pieces, and you could probably tell because of the quality, but like I like the colours here. Like I like it, and it's a new style, and it looks shitty because it's like a more scribble style where I'm just like drawing over everything instead of like sketching and erasing for like a friggin' 1,000 years. But you know what? We are here and we tried, and that's all that matters. And you should totally support me on Ko-Fi if you liked it, because again, starving artist, not trying to dig herself into a soulless grave of unethicalness, because I'm not like this big influencer. But if you want to support me on Ko-Fi and have like a say in what I create and how I create it, you should definitely do that. Like the link is in my Instagram bio. It is there if you want to consider it, but again, no pressure. And if you've made it this far, like I will be surprised. I will genuinely be surprised if anyone's made it this far, because I'm on some bullshit. Okay, I want you to drop me the one emoji you never use in the comments. Like just do that. I want to see like what fucking emoji do you vibe with that you just never use on anyone else. That is the secret. Okay, we're gonna be like the in gang, like the elite squad. Let's just drop these emojis in the chat. I cannot wait to see them. Bye.